You are not just tired, you've been in a spiritual storm disguised as daily life. That weariness in your bones, that fog in your thoughts, that strange heaviness you've been carrying. It's not random. It's not weakness. It's war. And heaven sent this moment to reveal what's been happening behind the scenes. You didn't stumble here by accident. My beloved, lean in. This message was written for you. There are battles we fight and know we're fighting. Then there are those storms that sneak in quietly, cloaked in routine, masked as delay, dressed in disappointment. You've been walking through one of those storms. That delay in answers, that loss of passion for things you once loved, that subtle but relentless drain on your energy, peace, and focus. It's been a spiritual ambush. The enemy didn't need to shout to shake you. All he needed was to keep you distracted long enough to convince you that nothing was wrong. But something is wrong, and it's not just in the naturals. It's spiritual. Psalm 34:7 says, "The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers them." You have not been alone in this. Archangel Michael, heaven's warrior, is not a distant figure. He has been near, assigned, active, guarding you even when you didn't know you needed guarding. While you were tossing in bed, wondering why your mind wouldn't quiet, the battle wasn't just in your body. It was in the realm of the unseen. And the truth is, you're under attack because of what you carry. The enemy only targets what he fears. The discouragement you've felt. It's not because you're weak, it's because you're chosen. When hell cannot destroy your purpose, it will try to exhaust your soul. And the most effective tactic is subtle, slow erosion, fatigue, disappointment, delay. That low-grade emotional numbness that settles in and convinces you to stop expecting good things. My beloved, you've been in a hidden storm. But the storm is not your ending, it's your unveiling. Archangel Michael steps in when what's at stake is too precious to leave unguarded. When destiny is on the line and your strength is slipping, heaven sends reinforcement. And that's why this message is reaching you now. The veil is lifting, the confusion is clearing, and the truth is sounding like a trumpet in your spirit. You are under divine protection, and you are being called to healing. The pressure you've been feeling, it's not just emotional, it's not just the economy, your age, or your surroundings. It's spiritual warfare, camouflaged in daily fatigue. The enemy has been whispering, "You're just overwhelmed. It's just life. Nothing's wrong." But heaven is thundering, "This is war. You're not broken. You're being targeted because you matter." My beloved, what if I told you that everything you've been wrestling with, the delay, the disinterest, the lack of clarity, was a sign not of God's distance, but of a spiritual confrontation happening in realms you cannot see? What if I told you Archangel Michael has been standing between you and forces that wanted to dismantle your hope? Because that's what's happening. And this word isn't just encouragement, it's revelation. You have been protected in ways you'll only understand in hindsight. That accident that didn't happen, that emotional collapse that didn't overtake you, that conversation that seemed random but gave you clarity, that whisper that said, "Get up one more day." Those weren't coincidences, they were evidence. You've been surrounded. You've been encamped. And now healing is being released, because the truth is being revealed. Psalm 34:7 isn't just a verse, it's a reality. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him and delivers them. That means you've been kept even when you didn't feel it. Your fear of God, your flicker of faith, your yes even when it felt weak, it was enough to keep the angels close. And Archangel Michael has not left your side. You see, the enemy wanted you to accept tiredness as normal, to wear discouragement like a second skin, but God is not allowing you to settle for that version of life. That's why He's revealing the storm. Because when the storm is revealed, healing begins. When you name what's been attacking you, you can begin to fight back, not with striving, but with truth. And here is the truth. You are not just surviving, you are being rescued. You are not just stuck. You are being strengthened. You are not just barely making it. You are about to be made whole. The fog is lifting. The storm is breaking. Because heaven has spoken, and the angels are moving. Let this be your declaration today. I am not tired. I am under transformation. I am not defeated. I am divinely defended. I am not confused. I am being clarified. Speak it until your atmosphere shifts. Speak it until your body aligns. Speak it until the storm loses its camouflage and the sun breaks through. My beloved child, this is not casual encouragement. This is a heavenly transmission. You have been marked by purpose, and heaven never abandons what it anoints. Every delay has a reason. Every tear has been recorded. Every sigh has been seen. And now, in this very moment, the turning has begun. Don't harden your heart and say, I've heard this before. No, this is not like before. This is a divine interruption. The angels are close. The fire is real. And the fog is lifting. Your healing begins not with striving, but with revelation. Now that you know the truth, that the storm was spiritual, that you were never alone, you can finally exhale and say, God, I receive your healing. I receive the angelic covering. I receive my clarity. You were tired because you were in a war. But you're not going to live tired. You're going to live healed. Archangel Michael is not stepping in because you're weak, but because you are precious. You carry too much destiny to keep walking unaware. The storm was real, but so is the covering. My beloved, don't move away from this moment. This was heaven's appointment with your spirit. And as you breathe slower, as you feel the tears begin to rise, know this: the storm is ending, and clarity is beginning. You are not who you were when this message began. You are being realigned with truth, with strength, with divine protection. The next part of this message will take you deeper, because now that you see the storm, you'll begin to see how it tried to disguise itself. And heaven will begin to show you where your heart was wounded in silence. Stay close, because the next revelation will explain why you've been crying without knowing why. Let healing continue. Let the storm unravel. You are not alone. You are covered. And something huge is waiting for you. Before we go further, seal this word by writing, "Healing is mine," in the comments. Let heaven see your agreement and your miracle begin. If you've been weeping without reason, there's a spiritual attack behind your silence. Those quiet tears, the ones no one sees, not even you fully understand, are not signs of weakness. They are spiritual signals, signals that something unseen has been pressing against your soul, whispering discouragement, draining your strength, clouding your clarity. This isn't just sadness. This isn't just stress. This is war in the silence. My beloved child, heaven is leaning in now, not to condemn your breaking, but to reveal it. You've been walking around carrying weight you couldn't name, and heaven has seen every step. There are wounds you've never voiced, fears you've never explained, nights you've never described. And still you rise. Still you breathe. Still you move through the day while something inside you whispers, "Something isn't right, but I don't know what." This is about that feeling, the shadow with no shape, the grief with no story, the tension you carry in your chest that doesn't seem to belong to any single event, silent trauma, internal chaos, emotional fog. These are not byproducts of a bad day. They are often signs of spiritual interference. In Daniel 10:12-13, the angel said to Daniel, "Do not fear, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to understand, your words were heard, and I have come because of your words. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me. And behold, Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me." Daniel didn't see the war, but his delay in answers was because of it. He felt confused, empty, unheard, but there was a full-blown spiritual battle happening because his prayers carried weight. You too have been praying prayers that stirred the spirit realm. You may not even remember them clearly, but heaven does. And the delay you've been feeling, the quiet torment that makes you question if you're even seen, has never been a sign of God's absence. It has been the evidence of interference. Archangel Michael enters when the warfare is deep, when the fight is over destiny, not just comfort. When your voice grows faint under the weight of unspoken sorrow, that is when heaven moves in silence. Angels don't always arrive with thunder. They sometimes arrive as protection you didn't know you needed. You've been fighting shadows with no name. You've tried to describe it. "I'm just tired. Maybe it's just me. I think I'm too emotional." But no phrase fits. That's because what you're experiencing isn't rooted in flesh and blood. It's spiritual. Ephesians 6:12 says, "For we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, but against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places." Some of you have been waking up from strange dreams. Others have felt waves of anxiety hit out of nowhere, sudden flashes of dread, emotional numbness, deep loneliness in a crowded room. These are symptoms of a silent attack, and God is not exposing them to shame you. He is exposing them to heal you. The enemy thrives in secrecy. If he can convince you that the pain has no name, that your suffering is just weakness, then you'll never fight it spiritually. But not anymore. The veil is lifting, the truth is rising, and heaven is saying to you right now, this is not just emotional, this is spiritual warfare, and your healing starts now. My beloved, Archangel Michael brings strength when your voice fails. He stands where you fall. He wears when your prayers become sighs. You've never been without help. Even in your most voiceless moments, divine protection has encircled you. The tears you cried alone were never unseen. They were incense before heaven. And now the season of silent battle is shifting. God is gently uncovering the roots, the forgotten moments, the buried traumas, that conversation that wounded you deeper than you admitted, that betrayal you never fully processed, that failure you thought you moved on from, the emotional abandonment that wrapped itself in silence for years. These are the places the Spirit is shining light on. Not to reopen wounds, but to cleanse them. Your healing begins the moment truth is revealed. And here is the truth. You were never too broken. You were always being fought for. Let this be your declaration. God, I receive the healing I didn't know I needed. I break agreement with the lie that my silence means I'm alone. I welcome the ministry of angels. I receive divine protection in the unseen. Speak this aloud. Your words matter. They carry power. Just like Daniel, your prayers have already moved heaven, and Michael has already been dispatched. Just because you don't feel it doesn't mean it's not happening. This is the moment heaven says, enough. My beloved child, listen closely. You're not losing your mind. You're regaining your clarity. What once felt like confusion is beginning to lift. What once felt like a void is now being filled with light. The silence is breaking not with noise, but with truth. And truth is what heals. Truth is what strengthens. Truth is what protects. There will come a moment, very soon, where you will suddenly realize you no longer feel the dread you carried. You'll notice a deep breath that feels lighter. A thought that used to torment you will now pass like a fading cloud. These are signs. These are answers. These are breakthroughs, and it begins now. Don't rush away from this moment. This is not a casual video. This is a visitation. You were guided here because heaven knew your heart had questions you couldn't put into words. And now, heaven is answering without requiring you to speak. Receive this. You are safe. You are not crazy. You are not weak. You are not forgotten. You are in the middle of spiritual restoration, and this restoration doesn't require you to figure it all out. It only requires you to agree. Agree with heaven. Agree with truth. Agree with love. Agree with the healing that doesn't wait for you to feel perfect. It comes while you're still broken. My beloved, remain here. Don't let your heart wander. Let these words settle into your chest like healing rain. The silence you've been living with is not a sign of defeat. It is the battlefield where your victory has already begun. Your voice will return. Your joy will rise. Your nights will shift. The pressure is breaking. The storm is ending. And the next part of this message will begin to show you how heaven has been protecting you through what seemed like random moments. You'll begin to see divine fingerprints on the days you thought were empty. Stay close. Let the healing continue. Something huge is waiting for you. This is about your child. And heaven couldn't stay silent any longer. My beloved, you were drawn to this very moment because the cry of your heart for your son or daughter has reached God. This is not just another message scrolling across your screen. This is a prophetic interruption, heaven's way of pulling back the veil to show you what you've been sensing all along. What you've felt in your spirit, the heaviness, the tug, the quiet concern that would not leave you, that was not imagination. This is confirmation. Your child has been carrying pain in silence, not because they are weak, but because they've been trying to protect you. They have hidden their tears so you wouldn't worry. They've smiled to cover their storm. They've spoken lightly when their heart was heavy. This message is heaven's way of saying, I saw every hidden tear, and I am moving now. Psalm 91:11 declares, He will command His angels concerning you, to guard you in all your ways. That promise extends to your child. They are not walking alone through their silent battle. Archangel Michael himself has been assigned to guard their generational destiny. My beloved, you've wondered why their path looks delayed, why they seem to be circling the same mountain, why opportunities that should have opened seem to have been blocked. That delay is not denial, it's spiritual interference. Just as Daniel's answers were delayed because of unseen opposition, Daniel 10:12-13, your child's breakthrough has been contended over in the spirit realm. They are not cursed, they are contested. And when a destiny is contested, heaven dispatches warriors. This is why you've been restless at night, why your prayers for them have felt different lately. You've been sensing the spiritual weight around their life. You've woken up thinking of them. You've wept without knowing why. Heaven is confirming now. Your sensitivity has been intercession. Your groan has been warfare. Your child's cry has reached heaven. Let me speak this prophetic word over you as a parent. You were chosen for this. You were chosen to stand in the gap. You were chosen to break what tried to attach itself to your bloodline. Your prayers are not bouncing off the ceiling. They are shaking the heavens. Your child is not lost. Your child is not forgotten. Your child's destiny is guarded by the angel of the Lord. Psalm 91:11 is not a poetic idea, it is a living reality. The angel of the Lord encamps, surrounds, covers, intercepts, fights. And Archangel Michael's assignment is not just individual protection but generational defense. He wars at the gates of bloodline destiny. He guards what the enemy wants to corrupt before it matures. He fights for those who cannot fight for themselves. My beloved, you have been positioned as a vessel of breakthrough for your child. Your prayers are a shield. Your declarations are a sword. Your tears are seeds of reversal. Every time you've whispered their name before God, heaven has taken note. Every time you've laid awake and sighed, Lord, please cover them, angels have moved, and now heaven is speaking back. I have heard, I have seen, I am moving. You've wondered if their silence meant rebellion. You've feared that their distance meant defeat. But heaven says, their delay is not their ending. It is the tension before their testimony. It is the pushback before their purpose. They have been walking through a battlefield they could not describe, and the very pain that almost broke them will be the platform that lifts them. Your prayers have been the net catching them when they fell, and God is now turning the net into a sling to launch them forward. Hear the Spirit of God speaking, I am not only healing your child, I am restoring your hope. I am not only breaking the interference, I am raising a new standard over your household. This is not just about their life. This is about your legacy. This is about the reversal of what tried to repeat. Archangel Michael is not passive. He is active even now. The same warrior who contended for Daniel's answer is contending for your child's deliverance. The same angel who fought delay in the heavens is fighting delay in their destiny. This is why the attack has been silent yet suffocating, because the enemy hoped no one would notice. But you noticed, and heaven noticed you noticing, and now the covering is intensifying. Let this be your declaration as a parent. Lord, I receive my role as a vessel of breakthrough. I partner with heaven for my child. I declare Psalm 91:11 over their life. Angels of God encamp around them, guard them, lift them. Archangel Michael, war for their destiny. No delay, no interference, only the fulfillment of what God wrote about them. Say their name aloud, picture their face, speak life into their silence. Your words are not empty, they are assignments. Heaven moves on declarations. Just as you've been invited to listen, you're being invited to speak, not out of fear, but out of authority. This is the beginning of reversal and restoration. The battle over their mind is breaking. The heaviness over their spirit is lifting. The confusion in their path is clearing. They will begin to feel a shift, even if they can't explain it. They will start making decisions that look like wisdom even if they don't understand why. They will be drawn to safer places, kinder people, healthier choices. They will dream different dreams. They will feel the pull of destiny again. And you will know, heaven moved. My beloved, this is heaven's way of saying, you are not powerless. You are positioned. You are not alone. You are surrounded. You are not guessing. You are being guided. The same God who revealed the silent battle is equipping you with the prophetic insight to pray and the angelic support to protect. As you sit in this moment, let your heart rest. You've been carrying the weight of their struggle as if it were yours. Lay it down now. Whisper this prayer. Lord, I release my child into your hands. I trust your angels. I trust your timing. I trust your plan. I receive peace as you fight for them. Feel the shift. Feel the lifting. That is heaven responding. And as we move toward the next part of this journey together, you will see how the healing that began in you is extending to them. This is not the end. This is the opening. Stay close. The same voice that just confirmed your child's hidden battle will soon reveal the hidden roots behind your own struggles. Heaven is not done speaking. Something huge is waiting for you, and the next chapter will draw you deeper into the reversal already underway. The pain in your body has a spiritual root, and heaven is sending reinforcement. What you've been feeling in your bones, in your nerves, in your chest, it's not just physical, it's not just age or stress or coincidence. My beloved, your body has been under attack because your spirit carries something powerful, and the enemy knows that if he can wear down your body, he can try to quiet your voice. But here's the truth: healing has already been released. You didn't just stumble into sickness. You've been targeted, not because you're weak, but because you're chosen. The fatigue, the strange symptoms, the unexplained aches, even the medical battles that won't seem to break. There is more going on than meets the eye. Sometimes sickness is more than cells malfunctioning. Sometimes it's spiritual interference wrapped in physical disguise. Isaiah 53:5 says, "But he was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on him, and by his stripes we are healed." This is not a poetic hope, it is a spiritual decree. Healing has already been spoken over you. Heaven doesn't delay its promise. It's the earth that wrestles to receive it. My beloved, the same Archangel Michael who fought for Daniel's breakthrough is now standing for yours. Daniel fasted and prayed for 21 days, and the answer was sent on the first day, but delayed by resistance in the heavens. Daniel 10:12-13. Your healing has been dispatched from heaven. But the war over receiving it has been intense. That's why you felt hope rise, then crash. That's why one day you feel progress, and the next you feel defeated. There's a battle between the delivery of the promise and the interference of darkness, but you are not unguarded. Archangel Michael is a warrior. He doesn't come gently, he comes with force. He is assigned to push through resistance. You may not see him, but you are surrounded. The reinforcement you've been waiting for is not on its way. It is already present. Let's say it plainly. Sickness and weakness often enter through spiritual doors. Fear, bitterness, deep grief, trauma, and unresolved wounds open windows the enemy uses to gain access. Emotional and spiritual wounds left unhealed will eventually echo in the body. Scripture tells us this in Proverbs 17:22. A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Your body is not betraying you. It is revealing where your heart needs healing. That chronic inflammation, the exhaustion that sleep can't fix, the sudden tightness in your chest when you think about a past wound, these are not random. They are the body echoing what the spirit has carried silently for too long. But here is heaven's decree over you. You will not die, but live and declare what the Lord has done. Psalm 118:17. You are not finished. This illness is not your identity. This diagnosis is not your destiny. What the enemy meant to use to silence you will become the stage for your testimony. You will stand again. You will breathe freely again. You will laugh deeply again. The enemy tried to shrink your world to the limits of your pain, but God is expanding your territory even as you listen to these words. My beloved, this message is not here to condemn, it is here to illuminate. You are not being punished. You are being pursued by healing. God is not waiting for perfection. He is waiting for agreement. And today is your day to agree. Let this be your declaration. I break agreement with every spirit of infirmity. I reject the lie that my body is beyond healing. I forgive where I've held bitterness. I release the grief I've buried. And I receive the healing Jesus already paid for. I will not die. I will live. My body is a vessel of glory, not pain. Speak it slowly. Speak it until your body hears it. Speak it until your atmosphere changes. The word is alive. The angels are listening, and heaven is moving on your behalf. You may be asking, why hasn't healing come yet? Beloved, delay is not denial. Some healing is instant, some is progressive. But all healing in God's kingdom is rooted in the finished work of Jesus. If you haven't seen it manifest yet, it doesn't mean heaven hasn't heard. It means there's warfare. And now the veil is being pulled back so you can stand and fight, not in fear, but in faith. Sometimes healing doesn't begin with a miracle. It begins with forgiveness. Who do you need to release? What moment are you still holding? That doctor's words, that betrayal, that trauma you didn't cause but still carry, these are not just memories, they are weights, and healing accelerates when the weight is lifted. Forgiveness isn't agreement with what happened, it's agreement with heaven's justice. It's saying, God, I trust you to make it right, and I let go so my heart can be made whole. When you forgive, you free your soul. When your soul is free, your body begins to respond. Begin today. Say it aloud if you can. God, I forgive. I release. I let go. I receive peace. And I welcome healing, not just in my spirit, but in my body. Your affliction was meant to silence your spirit, but it will not succeed. You are not going to limp through life. You are not going to be defined by pills and pain. You are not going to live under the weight of invisible sickness or emotional torment. You are going to rise. You are going to walk in the healing that was already spoken over your name. My beloved child, remain in this moment. Don't rush away. Let heaven finish what it started in you today. Archangel Michael is contending for your full restoration, and angels are surrounding the very place where your body has felt most weak. As you listen, there will be warmth, or tears, or a lightness rising in your chest. That's not emotion, that's healing. Receive it. And as we move into the next part of this prophetic journey, we will speak directly into the areas of reversal. The places where the enemy tried to use sickness, trauma, and delay to define your identity will become the places where glory shines brightest. Something huge is waiting for you. Let the healing continue. Heaven has already moved. Now it's your turn to receive. God just issued a divine reversal order, and it has your name on it. My beloved, this is not symbolic language. This is prophetic reality. You have been walking through loss, betrayal, delay, and confusion, but heaven is now speaking, enough. The tide is turning. What the enemy meant for evil, God is using for good. Genesis 50:20. You were not attacked randomly. You were targeted because of your calling. The enemy saw the weight of your anointing before you did, and he tried to suffocate your rise with sabotage, emotional trauma, broken relationships, and long seasons of delay. But here is heaven's response. The reversal has been ordered. And it begins today. My beloved, Archangel Michael doesn't move unless destiny is in motion. He is assigned not to casual moments, but to crossroads, places where everything can change, and you are standing in one of those places right now. What you thought was the end has now become the turning point. The pain you endured is being rewritten, and the hands that tried to bury you will soon have to witness your rise. You've been asking, why did this happen? Why did they turn on me? Why did it all fall apart? Heaven answers now, because what's on your life is too valuable to go unchallenged. The betrayal wasn't random, it was a spiritual attempt to derail your divine appointment. The delay wasn't punishment, it was resistance to your breakthrough. But now the resistance is breaking, the interference is ending, the reversal has begun. Let the truth anchor your spirit. Genesis 50:20. You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. Joseph's betrayal led to a prison, but that prison was just a passageway to the palace. You too are being repositioned, and just like Joseph, what was meant to humiliate you is being used to elevate you. My beloved child, I need you to hear this. Your setback is turning into a testimony. The rejection that cut you the deepest will become the very evidence of how far you've come. The people who counted you out will have no choice but to watch the fulfillment of what God has spoken over your life. Heaven never loses track of destiny, and even when man throws you away, heaven does not misplace what it has marked. There is movement in the spirit realm right now. You may feel it in your chest. You may feel tears rising. You may sense a shift. That's not emotionalism, it's confirmation. Today marks a shift in the spirit. The verdict over your delay has been overturned. The word denied has been replaced with destined. The word broken is being rewritten as rebuilt. And the places where you once saw death, you will now see resurrection. Let this be your declaration. What was meant to bury me will become the ground that lifts me. What was meant to shame me will become the story that honors God. I break agreement with hopelessness. I break agreement with delay. I receive the reversal. I receive my release. I receive restoration. In Jesus' name. Speak that boldly, let it rise from your spirit. This is not the time to stay silent. The enemy thrives when you whisper your faith, but victory is declared with a roar, and heaven is waiting to echo your voice with angelic movement. You didn't miss your moment, it was protected. You didn't lose your purpose, it was rerouted. You didn't fail, you were being forged. Every loss was a lesson. Every delay was divine. Every betrayal became a bridge to deeper dependence on God. And now, the fruit of your endurance is being revealed. The same God who ordered Joseph's promotion after the prison has ordered your reversal. The same God who restored Job after devastation has written your double portion. The same God who raised Jesus after 3 days of silence has scheduled your public resurrection. You are not forgotten. You are chosen, and heaven is acting on your behalf. Archangel Michael is not passive in this moment. He is defending what is rising in you. He is warring against every spirit of accusation, confusion, and fear that tried to convince you to quit. You may not see the war, but you will see the results. Divine reversal is not just a concept, it's an event, and it's happening now. Remember this: what's ahead of you is not a rebuild, it's a rise. God is not patching together the broken pieces of your past. He is birthing something entirely new. The enemy meant to shut you down at the place of your most vulnerable pain, but instead, that very place is becoming the birthing room of a new chapter, one where you are not just a survivor, but a sign. You will be a sign that God restores, a sign that delay is not denial, a sign that betrayal does not cancel calling. You will walk into rooms where people only remember your pain, and they will be forced to witness your power. You will speak with authority born from the fire. You will bless people out of the very place where you once bled. My beloved, today is holy. This word was sent directly to your heart because heaven knew you needed to hear. The reversal has been ordered. Everything that tried to bury you is now being shaken by glory. What once looked like humiliation will be rewritten as honor. What once felt like the end will now become your entrance. Breathe, let that settle. Your soul has been waiting for this confirmation. Your body has felt the weight of this shift. Your tears have been preparing the ground, and now your spirit is rising. As you receive this, whisper it softly or shout it boldly. I receive the reversal. I welcome what heaven has ordered. I forgive those who hurt me. I release what tried to hold me. I walk into restoration without fear, without shame, and without delay. This is not the end of your story. This is the plot twist. And the next part of this prophetic journey will begin to show you how your response plays a part in activating what has been spoken. Don't walk away. The next word will stir you to move in agreement with what's already been decreed. Heaven has acted. Now you are being called to respond. Something huge is waiting for you, and it's closer than ever. The miracle doesn't just arrive, it is unlocked by your agreement. My beloved, what has been spoken over your life is real. The covering has been issued. The reversal has begun. The healing has been released. But heaven is waiting for something critical before the full weight of breakthrough can descend. Your response. James 2:17 declares, "Faith by itself, if it does not have works, is dead." That doesn't mean your actions earn the miracle. It means your agreement activates it. Faith isn't just a feeling, it's a movement. It's the choice to say yes, not just in your heart, but with your voice, with your obedience, with your posture. Heaven does not force itself into your life. It invites you to align. Archangel Michael has already been dispatched. The angelic assignment is active, but your response is the key that unlocks the full covering. Your agreement is not a formality, it's spiritual authority. When you say, "Yes, I believe," you create landing space for what God is already doing. When you speak the word, declare the promise, or step into obedience, you are saying to the heavenly realm, "I am ready for the manifestation." My beloved, too many live with delayed promises because they refuse to participate in the process. The miracle is real, but they stay silent. The protection is available, but they never step into it. They pray once and walk away. But today, that stops. You are being invited into divine participation, not striving, but surrender, not performance, but prophetic alignment. This is how the kingdom works. When God speaks a word, it is established in heaven. When you respond, it is activated on earth. Let's make it plain. When you pray, you open the gate. When you declare, you command the air. When you obey, you position your life. When you fast, you silence the noise. When you anoint, you mark the territory. When you forgive, you unlock the blessing. When you share, you multiply the miracle. These are not religious rituals. They are prophetic acts, and each one is a statement to heaven that says, "I am not just listening, I am moving." Think of it like this. If God is pouring out healing, but you never open your hands to receive it, you won't feel the warmth. If God is dispatching angels, but you never speak agreement over your household, the assignment hovers instead of landing. This is not to shame you, it's to empower you. Let this be the moment where you respond. Speak this aloud right now. I receive my covering. I am under angelic protection. Yes, speak it. Don't just nod. Don't just agree quietly. Use your voice. Heaven responds to faith-filled sound. Angels are not moved by silence. They move at the sound of faith, truth, and authority. When you declare, "I am under covering," the atmosphere shifts. The warfare backs off. The enemy loses footing. In fact, I invite you right now, comment these words wherever you are engaging with this message. I receive my covering. I am under angelic protection. You're not just typing a phrase, you're marking your territory. You're writing in the Spirit. You're putting your name on heaven's list of those who are not passive but prophetically active. There is power in participation. There is glory in obedience. And if you feel led, share this with someone. But not like a casual post. Share it with the spiritual understanding that you are declaring divine covering over someone else's life. When you send this to a friend, a family member, or someone silently suffering, you're saying, "I care about your protection too." This is evangelism through intercession. This is digital warfare. This is modern-day ministry. Archangel Michael is not waiting on heaven's orders. Those have already been issued. He is waiting on your alignment. He moves in full force when you step into full agreement. He defends what you stand up to declare. You may say, "But I'm tired. I've done this before." What if nothing changes? And heaven replies, "This time is different because this time you are no longer hoping, you are partnering." Hope waits, but faith walks. And today is not about wishing, it's about moving. Remember the woman with the issue of blood. Her miracle was already walking by. Jesus was in her atmosphere. But healing was unlocked not by his presence alone, but by her touch. She reached, she touched, and immediately power flowed. Mark 5:25-34. Today heaven is in your atmosphere, but you must reach. You must speak. You must touch the promise with action. Even if your faith feels small, even if your voice trembles, even if you've failed before, God is not looking for perfection, He's looking for partnership. And here's the beauty. When you respond, your covering multiplies. The more you align, the stronger the presence becomes. The more you declare, the clearer the air becomes. The more you agree with God's word, the faster interference breaks apart. Let this be your moment. Say it again, right now. I receive my covering. I am under angelic protection. And as you declare this, know that Archangel Michael is surrounding you. That angels are being released around your home, your body, your children, your future. You are not just covered, you are aligned. You are not just listening, you are acting. This is what divine protection looks like. Heaven speaks. You agree. The angels move. The atmosphere shifts. The enemy flees. And peace remains. My beloved child, stay in this posture. This is not a one-time act. It's a lifestyle. Walk in it. Speak it daily. Anoint your doorposts. Declare over your mornings. Play this message again if needed. Let your spirit remain in motion. And as we step into the next part of this journey, now that you have responded, get ready. Because heaven doesn't stop at covering. Once you're aligned, the healing goes deeper. The restoration gets personal. The past begins to lose its grip. Stay close. Something huge is waiting for you. And now that you've said yes, it's already unfolding. The spiritual cycle ends today because you were chosen to confront it. My beloved, you are not imagining the patterns, what you've seen in your family, repeating illness, fear, addiction, poverty, broken marriages, mental torment. It's not just coincidence or bad luck. These are spiritual cycles that have walked through generations. Until now. You were not born into your bloodline randomly. Heaven assigned you. You are the turning point. You are the interruption. You are the gatekeeper. And as you hear this word, the Spirit of God is declaring, the curse ends with you. Exodus 20:5-6 speaks of this truth clearly. I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children to the third and the fourth generation, but showing mercy to thousands, to those who love me and keep my commandments. This is not punishment, it's pattern. And God in His mercy always raises up one who says, it stops here. That one is you. Archangel Michael is assigned to war at the gates of generational bondage. His assignment isn't just personal protection, it's bloodline warfare. He doesn't just guard people, he guards legacies. When the battle is about inheritance, when the enemy is trying to corrupt the future by hijacking the past, God releases His most strategic angels. And that is what's happening in your life right now. Some of the battles you've been fighting didn't start with you. The anxiety you've battled, the nightmares, the delay in progress, the sudden breakdowns when you try to move forward, those are not random. They are echoes of past doors that were open long before you were born. But here's the good news. You may not have started the cycle, but you've been chosen to end it. You've seen it. Maybe your mother battled it. Maybe your grandfather lost to it. Maybe your siblings are still stuck in it. But something inside you said, this isn't how it's supposed to be. And that awareness is not rebellion, it's revelation. God opened your eyes because He plans to use your voice. The enemy always targets the one who can break the pattern. That's why your life has felt harder in ways you couldn't explain. You were marked early. You were wounded early. Because darkness hoped that if it could wound you first, it could stop you from rising later. But it didn't work. You're still here, and your awareness of the pattern is proof that heaven is moving to reverse it. You've been given discernment to see the thread that runs through generations, and that discernment is now becoming a sword. You are the gatekeeper of a new legacy. God is not just healing you, He is healing what flows through you. Your children, your nieces, your nephews, your lineage will walk in freedom because you stood and said, it ends with me. Think of it like this. In every generation, someone is given the spiritual authority to say no more. Not in my house, not in my line, not under my watch. And that person carries the power of reversal. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing. Heaven doesn't need you to know all the history. Heaven needs your yes, my beloved. Say yes now. Whisper it, shout it, own it. Say, the curse ends with me. The trauma ends with me. The addiction ends with me. The poverty ends with me. The silence ends with me. The fear ends with me. The bloodline is shifting now. Let your voice break the cycle. Let your obedience rebuild the gate. You are not standing in your own strength. Heaven is backing you. Archangel Michael is present to break every chain of ancestral bondage. As you listen, angels are moving through the corridors of your family story, rewriting what was written in pain. You are not crazy for feeling like you were born into something heavy. You were. But heaviness is not your portion. Glory is. Some of you have seen patterns and didn't have language. You've seen mental illness run like a shadow. You've watched opportunities vanish before breakthroughs could take root. You've seen family members with so much promise lose their way, and you've feared, will it be me next? That fear is being dismantled now. The Spirit of God says, it stops with you, and it begins with you. This isn't just about deliverance, it's about legacy. Healing is not just for you, it's generational. What God is doing in you will ripple forward. Your children will not inherit your trauma, they will inherit your victory. They will grow up under covering, not curses, under peace, not pain, under destiny, not delay. Let this be your declaration today. Every generational curse is broken in Jesus' name. I stand as a bloodline breaker. What others allowed, I confront. What others tolerated, I cancel. What others ignored, I expose. I will walk in freedom, and my family will walk in favor. You may feel a shaking in your spirit. You may feel tears rise. That is deliverance. That is heaven confirming that you are not who your bloodline tried to make you. You are who God called you to be. You are not just free, you are a freedom fighter. And yes, the enemy will try to whisper, it won't work, you're not strong enough, the pattern is too deep. But those are lies. The deeper the root, the louder the glory when it's pulled up. And you are not pulling alone. The Word is backing you. The angels are backing you. Heaven is testifying. The curse is breaking as you listen. Don't rush this moment. Sit in it. Breathe in the shift. Let the weight lift off your shoulders. Let the guilt that wasn't yours to carry fall to the ground. Let every what if and why me dissolve under this truth. Because you were chosen to break what others couldn't. And as you prepare for the next part of this prophetic journey, something is already stirring. The weight has been lifted, but now the emotional core of your pain will be addressed. In the next chapter, we will go deep into the hidden wounds you buried, and the healing you now have permission to receive. You've broken the curse, and now, the restoration begins. Something huge is waiting for you, and it's closer than ever. You didn't deserve what happened, but you do deserve the healing. My beloved, this word reaches into the deepest places of you, not the polished parts others see, but the silent place inside where the wound still whispers. That moment, that memory, that season, the one you tried to forget but still feel in the background of your life. The one that told you something about yourself that God never said. This is not about blame, it's about truth. Because truth is where healing begins. And the truth is this: it wasn't your fault. What was done to you, what was taken from you, what you were exposed to, it didn't define you. It damaged you, yes, but it never had the power to name you. Only God does. Psalm 147:3 says, He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. God doesn't skip past pain. He doesn't ignore trauma. He doesn't tell you to toughen up or get over it. No, He draws near to it. He gets on His knees beside your pain. He puts His hands on the places others stepped over. And He speaks healing where you stopped speaking entirely. My beloved, there are wounds so deep you stopped acknowledging them. You buried them beneath smiles, beneath responsibility, beneath survival. And maybe you've lived years like that, functioning but not feeling. You've carried the shame of things that were never yours to carry, the betrayal, the abuse, the abandonment, the things you still don't talk about. They've been lying to your soul. The enemy tried to shame you into silence, to tell you it was your fault, that you were weak, that you attracted it, that you should have stopped it. But those are not the voice of heaven. Those are lies, and they are breaking now. The voice of God says, I saw, I wept, and I'm restoring you. You didn't just survive a hard moment, you survived an attack on your identity. The pain wasn't just emotional, it was strategic. The enemy wasn't just trying to harm you, he was trying to hide you, to bury your voice, to muffle your light, to wound you early so you'd spend the rest of your life apologizing for your presence. But heaven is clearing the smoke now. Archangel Michael defends the brokenhearted. His sword doesn't just fight off demons, it defends fragile places. Your spirit, even bruised, is sacred. And you are not being exposed, you are being restored. My beloved, healing begins when truth is spoken. So let this be the truth that sets you free. What they did wasn't okay. What happened was unjust. You didn't deserve it. God saw every moment. You never lost your value. You never stopped being chosen. And the healing has already begun. You don't have to carry this into your future. You don't have to keep managing the pain like a hidden injury. You don't have to act strong while breaking inside. Today, strength looks like surrender. Today, wholeness begins with honesty. Today, God says, "Let me touch the wound." Maybe you haven't told anyone. Maybe you did and they didn't believe you. Maybe you believed it was too small to matter or too old to heal. But God is not limited by time or by human response. If it hurt you, it matters to Him. If it broke you, He is the one who can make you whole. Let these words sink in. My beloved child, I saw you when it happened. I didn't turn away. I stayed with you when others left. I've held every tear. I've counted every night you couldn't sleep. And now I say, arise. You are not your trauma. You are not your shame. You are mine, and I'm making you whole again. Say this gently, even through tears. God, I receive your healing. I release what I buried. I speak truth over the lie. It wasn't my fault. I didn't deserve it. I am not what happened. I am who you say I am. You don't have to be perfect to be free. You just have to say yes. Healing is not about forgetting. It's about no longer bleeding. You will remember and still rise. You will remember and still feel joy. You will remember and not feel shame. This is about inner healing. About your voice being restored. About your peace coming back. About your identity no longer shaped by pain, but by promise. Let the little girl, the little boy inside of you know, we're safe now. God is here, and we are going to heal. Some of you have been carrying the false guilt of others' sins. The words they said, the things they implied, the control, the silence, the absence. It shaped how you saw yourself, but not anymore. The God who heals the brokenhearted is binding up your wounds right now. Don't rush this. Don't push it down again. Let the tears come. Let the shaking in your spirit happen. That is deliverance. That is trauma leaving. That is heaven touching what no one else could reach. And know this: you are not doing this alone. Archangel Michael is here. The Holy Spirit is here. Heaven is surrounding your healing room. This is sacred ground. You are not going back to who you were before the wound. You are becoming who you were always meant to be. And this healing will ripple. It will restore your confidence. It will soften your relationships. It will clear your mind. It will silence your inner critic. It will free your sleep. It will shift your atmosphere. Let this be your declaration now. I am not broken. I am healing. I am not ashamed. I am chosen. I will not carry what wasn't mine. I will walk into freedom. You've heard the lie long enough. It's time to believe the truth. You are worthy of healing, you are worthy of peace, you are worthy of love, and heaven has already said yes. As we prepare to move into the next part of this prophetic journey, your body, soul, and spirit are already aligning with truth. You are lighter, freer, safer. And in the next chapter, we will speak of the angelic presence that has been with you all along. Especially when you thought no one was there. Something huge is waiting for you, and it's unfolding right now. You haven't been alone. Angelic presence has been with you the whole time. My beloved, there are moments in your life that you've labeled as luck, coincidence, or just in time. But heaven calls those moments intervention. There were accidents that didn't happen, breakdowns that didn't reach you, dangers that shifted course, and emotional collapses that somehow passed. Those weren't random, they were rescue missions. Because you are surrounded by angels, even when you don't see them. Hebrews 1:14 says, "Are not all angels ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation?" Angels are not distant mythical beings. They are real, active, and closer than your next breath. You've walked through valleys where you felt unseen by people, but never unseen by heaven. You've stood in rooms where no one knew the battle inside you, but an angel did and stood guard. You've cried in the dark, and unseen hands strengthened your soul. Archangel Michael is assigned to war. He contends at the gates of destiny. He defends when demonic resistance rises. But he is not the only one. Heaven's host is vast. Some angels are sent for battle, others for healing, others for guidance, comfort, and divine positioning. Every step you've taken as a child of God has been monitored, covered, and protected more than you know. That moment you felt something telling you, "Don't go there." That delay that frustrated you but later spared you, that split-second pause that saved your life, it was divine. Angels don't always arrive with flashing light and thunder. Sometimes they whisper peace. Sometimes they reroute your path. Sometimes they stand invisible in front of danger and push it back. And many times they look like dreams, like nudges, like peace that makes no sense. You are in a divinely guarded space, not because of your perfection, but because of your position. You belong to God, and God never assigns a destiny without assigning protection. You've made it through things that others didn't survive. You've had moments where you felt you should have broken, but you didn't. You've been in places where everything pointed toward destruction, yet someone kept you. My beloved, that was not something, that was angelic covering. 2 Kings 6:16 is your assurance today. Elisha said to his fearful servant, "Fear not, for those who are with us are more than those who are with them." His servant could only see the army that surrounded them, but Elisha could see the army that surrounded the army. Chariots of fire, hosts of heaven, and they are still active today. Prophetic word, you are surrounded. You may feel pressure, you may feel weary, but you are not alone. Angels are covering your doorposts, walking beside your children, sitting in the hospital room, standing in your hallway as you sleep. They are assigned, not temporarily, but continually. God's protection over you is not seasonal, it's eternal. Let the fear that's been crouching in the corners of your heart melt away. Let the anxiety that has been whispering, "You're vulnerable, you're exposed, you're not safe," be silenced by truth. You are not vulnerable. You are not exposed. You are under divine surveillance. You are held. Some of you have had near-death experiences. You didn't know how you made it out. A car swerved, A decision changed. A diagnosis reversed. A sudden sense of peace came over you before everything shifted. My beloved, those weren't coincidences, those were angels on assignment. Some of you have had dreams where you felt protected. You saw light. You felt someone hold you. That wasn't fantasy. It was a glimpse of the reality that's always around you. The more aware you are of your covering, the more peace you carry. Awareness is an anointing. When you walk in the understanding that you are not alone, you walk differently. You pray with confidence. You sleep in peace. You stop shrinking your purpose in fear of backlash because you know the hosts of heaven go before you. Let this be your declaration today. I am not alone. I am divinely protected. Angels are assigned to me. I walk in peace. I walk in protection. I walk in purpose. Say it aloud. Say it until the atmosphere around you shifts. Say it until your body relaxes. Say it until the lie of abandonment is replaced with the truth of divine nearness. Some of you have felt guilty, as if you've worn out your protection, as if too many mistakes removed the angels from your life. My beloved, let heaven correct that lie. God's protection over you was never based on your perfection. It was based on His love. The moment you gave Him your heart, the covering came. And even before then, His mercy covered what you couldn't see. There is angelic presence in your room right now. You may not see it, but your spirit feels it. That warmth rising in your chest, that peace settling over your thoughts, that gentle awareness of safety, that's not imagination, that's divine. Receive it. Breathe it in. Some of you have family members you've been praying for, children, spouses, friends. Know this, your prayers have activated covering for them too. Just as angels surrounded Lot for Abraham's sake, they are surrounding your loved ones because of your intercession. Do not fear for your family. You are not the only one watching over them. Let this moment restore your awe. Let it restore your confidence. You don't need to know every step of the future. You only need to remember who walks with you. Say this with faith. Where I go, angels go. Where I sleep, angels stand. When I pray, angels respond. I will not fear. I am covered. You've been afraid of the unknown, but heaven says, I've already gone ahead of you. The path you walk has already been cleared. The dangers have already been dealt with. What the enemy planned has already been intercepted. And now, as we move into the next part of this prophetic journey, you will begin to see how your voice, the one heaven has protected, has power to shape what's coming next. You've been defended. Now you'll be equipped. Stay close, because the next word will stir something bold inside of you. Something huge is waiting for you. And you are surrounded by heaven as you step into it. What you declare in faith becomes the material heaven uses to build your breakthrough. My beloved, your future is not built on hope alone, it's built on words. Not just casual words, but prophetic declarations spoken in faith, with spiritual authority. Every time you speak life, you're not just echoing truth, you're shaping reality. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Life and death are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruit." That is not a metaphor, that is a spiritual law. Your words are not empty, they are containers. They either carry heaven's truth or echo hell's lies. And today, you are being invited to shift your entire atmosphere by choosing what you speak. You see, Archangel Michael does not respond to fear. He does not move on frustration. He is not stirred by passive complaints. He responds to prophetic decrees. He is assigned to carry out what heaven has ordered, and heaven's orders are released through the mouths of the faithful. That means your voice is a weapon, and how you use it determines what surrounds you. Many people don't realize that they are prophesying daily, just not in the right direction. When you say, "Nothing ever works out for me," you are authoring defeat. When you say, "I'll never heal," you are reinforcing illness. When you say, "I'm always under attack," you're reinforcing the warfare instead of engaging in victory. But when you say, "God is with me," you invite divine presence. When you say, "I am covered by angelic protection," you authorize spiritual defense. When you say, "I walk in healing, peace, and purpose," you shift the very frequency of your surroundings. Words shift the spiritual realm. When Jesus healed the sick, he spoke. When he cast out demons, he commanded. When he rebuked storms, he declared. He modeled how heaven's authority flows, not just by believing, but by speaking. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be eloquent. You just have to be aligned. Speak what heaven says about you. Even when your feelings resist. Even when your body aches. Even when your circumstances mock you. Declare anyway. Let this be your declaration right now. My healing has begun. My protection is sealed. Yes, type it. Say it. Write it. Declare it over your home, your children, your body, your finances. Heaven is listening. Angels are standing by. They are waiting for a command that echoes the word of God, and that command comes through you. God gave humanity the authority to name, to bind, to loose, to speak blessing or cursing. And that power did not dissolve when the Bible closed. It's alive in you. And right now your agreement matters. Type it in faith. My healing has begun. My protection is sealed. And if this word has touched your spirit, share it, not out of obligation, but as a prophetic act. When you share this, you are not just passing along a message, you are releasing faith into someone's future. You are speaking life beyond your own life. You may never know who will read those words and feel hope rise again. You may never know who is one declaration away from peace. Your voice is not just for you, it is for others. Speak life and you multiply it. Let's go further. Say this aloud now. Speak it with boldness, even through trembling lips. I declare that I am walking in God's will. I declare that angels surround me. I declare that healing is flowing through every part of me. I declare that fear has no home in my thoughts. I declare that my family is protected. I declare that every delay is turning into a divine setup. I declare that my future is blessed, covered, and unfolding in alignment with heaven. Don't wait for the feeling. Let the truth shape the feeling. Your voice is a weapon. Use it wisely. You don't need to wait for a spiritual leader to declare things over your life. You are the prophet of your household. You are the gatekeeper of your space. You have access to the same Spirit that raised Christ from the dead, and He speaks through you. When you say, "I am healed," the enemy trembles. When you say, "I am covered," angels move into position. When you say, "I will live and not die," you activate Psalm 118:17. I will not die but live, and will proclaim what the Lord has done. Heaven records your words. Let your future echo what you believe, not what you fear. My beloved, your declarations today are laying the foundation for peace tomorrow. They are paving the path for miracles you haven't yet seen. They are unlocking doors you didn't even know existed. Every time you declare truth, heaven builds with it. Right now, even as you speak, the atmosphere is shifting. Angels are gathering the words from your mouth and applying them like paint across the canvas of your tomorrow. Your house is being covered. Your body is being strengthened. Your future is being secured, not just by prayer, but by proclamation. So speak. even when it feels awkward, even when you don't know what to say. Start with truth. Open your Bible and declare the promises. Speak Psalm 91 over your family. Declare Isaiah 53:5 over your health. Proclaim Romans 8:28 over your future. Here's a prophetic word for you now. The moment you open your mouth in alignment with heaven, the delay breaks. The fog clears. And the protection intensifies, and your angels respond. Let this be your rhythm from now on. Wake up speaking life. Go to sleep releasing blessing. Speak light over your home. Declare peace into every room. Say out loud, this is a protected space. This is a healed space. This is a breakthrough house. And if fear tries to return, don't argue with it. Just declare against it. Fear is not cast out by reason. It is driven out by truth spoken in faith. As we move into the next part of this prophetic journey, now that you've declared, get ready for the shift. Words have gone ahead of you. Now they will begin to manifest around you. Something huge is waiting for you, and it's responding to your voice. Speak again. My healing has begun. My protection is sealed. And watch what heaven builds next. The season of surviving is over. You are stepping into a season of divine peace. My beloved, you've been fighting for so long that you forgot what it feels like to breathe deeply. To rest, to smile without suspicion, to sit in silence and not feel afraid. But hear this clearly. The battle is ending. You are crossing over. Heaven has watched you endure what others couldn't see. You've been tested in fire, stretched beyond what you thought you could handle. You've cried when no one knew. You've stood when everything around you told you to give up. And now, the word of the Lord for you is simple. Well done. You made it through. Now let me give you rest. Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, "To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose under heaven." You've walked through your season of pruning. Now you are entering your season of peace. The chaos that surrounded you is lifting. The noise that followed you is quieting. The heaviness that clung to you is breaking off. You are not entering a new battle. You are stepping into a healed space. Archangel Michael has stood guard through the warfare, and now he stands watch over your transition. Because when peace begins, the enemy often tries one last attempt to stir fear, but it will not succeed. Heaven is ahead of you, angels are behind you, and the Spirit of God is resting upon you. Peace is not always loud. It doesn't always come with trumpets and declarations. Sometimes it arrives in whispers, in clarity, in deep breaths, in quiet confidence, in sleep that finally feels safe, in dreams that begin to heal instead of haunt. These are the signs that your healed season has begun. You may have noticed it already, the tension in your body easing, the weight in your chest lifting, the fog in your thoughts clearing. You've been waiting for a lightning strike, but peace often tiptoes in while you're still watching the horizon. Don't miss it just because it's subtle. Don't resist it because it's quiet. Restoration often comes quietly, but it is powerful. God restores without performance. He rebuilds while you sleep. He heals while you exhale. He's not asking you to strive anymore. He's inviting you to receive. You've been in survival mode for so long, you may not recognize peace when it first shows up. You've been so used to protecting yourself, waiting for the next attack, bracing for disappointment. But now heaven says, let your guard down. I've got you now. Say this softly, like a whisper over your heart. My battle is closing, my peace is beginning. Say it again, even if your body still feels tired. Say it until your nervous system aligns. Say it until the walls start coming down. This is your new season. The war doesn't define you anymore. Peace does. You've fought long enough. You've cried enough. You've wrestled enough. Now it's time to walk in calm. Not because everything is perfect, but because God is present, and where He is, peace reigns. There will be moments where your old thoughts try to return, patterns that once ruled your heart. They'll whisper things like, "It won't last," or "Don't trust this," or "Get ready for it to fall apart again." My beloved, those thoughts are not your future. They're echoes from a season that has ended. You must not sabotage what God is restoring. Don't rehearse the pain when healing is already here. Don't open the old wounds just to prove they've scabbed over. Don't reinvite anxiety by calling it preparedness. This season is holy. Guard it, protect it, receive it with gratitude. Your healed season will still require your attention, but not your fear. It will need your agreement, but not your striving. The battle is ending, not because you escaped it, but because you overcame it. Let this be your declaration today. I step out of the storm. I step into peace. I release survival. I embrace rest. My thoughts are calm. My body is safe. My soul is at peace. God is restoring me from the inside out. You may not feel the full manifestation yet, but the shift has already begun. Just like a sunrise starts with faint light, your restoration is rising gradually, beautifully, steadily. You are being made whole, and there's more. This healed season will not just bless you, it will bless those around you. Your peace will become a covering for others. Your words will carry a new frequency. Your presence will feel like rest to those who are weary. This is the fruit of your survival. This is the reward of your endurance. God is not only healing you, He is redefining you. You're not the wounded one anymore. You're the restored one. You're not the anxious one anymore. You're the anchored one. You're not the barely hanging on one anymore. You're the rooted one. This isn't the fake peace you've pretended to carry. This is the real thing. This is the unshakable kind. The kind that doesn't leave when the news changes. The kind that holds steady when others panic. The kind that is anchored in presence, not in performance. Receive it now. Just breathe and say, "Peace, come. Jesus, remain. I step into the healing you've prepared for me." And stay here for a moment. Don't rush. Let the atmosphere around you shift. Let your shoulders drop. Let your breath deepen. Let your heart believe again. You have crossed over. The battle is ending. This new season is not a mirage. It's a miracle. And now, as we prepare to enter the final chapter of this journey, we will seal this peace with divine protection, because peace without protection is fragile, but peace under covering is eternal. The next word will leave you wrapped in safety, blessing, and a spiritual invitation to return again and again to this sacred place. Something huge is waiting for you, and now you can rest into it fully. Peace has come, and it's yours to keep.